Hey, you got a second?
Dad, I'm in the middle of my podcast.
I just wrote down what I'm going to talk about tonight for my special, and I want to know what you think.
I don't get it.
What part? What don't you get?
Is this supposed to be funny?
Yes, it's supposed to be funny.
But you don't have any jokes.
What do you mean?
But you don't have any jokes about Mickey Mouse or Paw Patrol or Peppa Pig.
I don't think people want to hear that.
But you don't talk about farting.
Yeah, it is funny. But the show's tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Brady.
All right, give it up for all the other comics, guys, huh? That's fun. Thanks for coming out tonight. This is great. It's great to be out with people. All I've been doing is watching crime shows with my wife this whole time. Anybody else like crime shows? Yeah, it's always women for some reason. I don't know why. Wives with knives. I wonder if there's a motive, you know? We were watching one crime show, and this guy pleaded he was not guilty to this crime, right? And so the prosecution was like, all right, well, we're going to go through your whole internet history, and we're going to release that to the public as public information during the trial. I was like, dude, if that were me and I didn't do the crime, I'd be like, I will do 12 years if you don't show anyone my internet history. And it's not for like anything weird or dirty, you know? It's like, I just don't want people to know what I Google every day, you know? Like how to spell tomorrow. I'm a grown man, and I Googled how to write a check. I Googled what's the capital of Earth. That's something. It's Texas. Did you guys know that? Did you guys? It's bigger down there, you know? I have to Google stuff like that because I live a life full of context clues, you know? Like if I don't know what someone's talking about, I'll just like answer with confidence and hope for the best. Hopefully they don't ask any questions, you know? Like one time someone was like, hey, what's your alma mater? And I was like, treat everyone the way you want to be treated, man. That's my motto, dude. What's yours, you know? Not gonna tell me? I honestly don't care if anyone goes through my internet history, seriously though, because I use Google's Incognito mode. One guy was like, yeah, go on. Everybody else pretending not to know. I love it. Google's Incognito mode is sketchy. Even the icon is sketchy. It's some dude wearing a hat and glasses. He looks like Carmen Sandiego's boyfriend. That's what I was telling my wife. I was like, the only reason they made Incognito mode is so you can go online and look at dirty stuff. That's what I was telling my wife. And she was like, the only reason I use it is when I'm buying you gifts, so you don't see what I'm buying you. I was like, yeah, me too, but these other people need to be stopped. So, we watch a lot of crime shows, and there's one where an adult man had been kidnapped, which is a little embarrassing. Yes, ma'am. Because they make it seem like it's an adult man in a van full of candy. He's like, I can't believe I fell for this, you know? But honestly, if that were me, you know, I think it's easier to kidnap me as an adult than if I was a kid. Because when you're a kid, you want stuff. You want candy. When you're an adult, you need stuff. If a white van pulled up on this street right here, and some guy came out and was like, hey man, get in. We got insurance, no deductible. I'd be like, what? Scoot over, I'm getting in that van, man. Get that knee checked out. I'd do it, you know? I know I said incognito mode, that's a mode I use. I can't help it though. You know, I have two older brothers, so look, there's a lot of stuff that I saw that was like way too early in my life. All right, I wasn't mentally prepared for a lot of the stuff that I saw. I saw that movie It when I was 7 years old. All the kids my age were like, hey, let's play cops and robbers. I was like, you're all gonna die. There's a clown in the sewers. They're like, whoa, this guy. I saw stuff way too early, man. I'll put it this way, you shouldn't see porn and still believe in Santa Claus. My mom was like, Santa's coming, and I was like, I hope not. Oh, man. Where is he coming? She's like, all over town. I was like, it's gonna be a white Christmas. Okay. Thanks. I just care about you. It's good, man. You know what? I was talking about, like, someone was talking to me about, like, doing school, like, all over again. I don't think I could. There's actually happened when I was in elementary school. This kid got in trouble for trading his Pokemon card for his friend's dad's gun. I know. You got to catch them all, right? And honestly, there's no rules. You just got to get it. And so, like, I would have just loved to have been a fly on the wall in that situation, you know? Some kid's like, listen, Daniel, you give me that Charizard card. I'll give you my dad's 45, buddy. Come on. And if you're ever in that situation, always take the gun. Then you got a gun and you're like, wow, this is cool. But I'm gonna need that card back. Depends on where he went to school. Private school, public school. I couldn't do school over again. I couldn't. I ran into my old math teacher. He taught me math in 5th grade, and I recognized him immediately. I was like, oh my God, Mr. Bailey, you taught me math in 5th grade. And he was like, oh my God, how long has it been? I was like, man, it's been forever. And he was like, no, Mark. You're 34. You took my class at 10 years old. How long has it been? Show your work. And that's when you gotta go. That's when you gotta leave. I couldn't do it just because I went to community college, you know? Went to community college. I don't like telling people that. That's the only reason I don't like to tell people is the response that I get 100% of the time is this. Someone's like, hey, where'd you go to college? And I go, I went to community college. And they go, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Weird, I didn't say there was. You just did. They're insinuating something's wrong with it, you know? Insinuating is a big word for someone who went to community college, so that is a plus for me. Our mascot in community college was just a disappointed dad. Just... I had to take a placement test to figure out what classes I was supposed to take. I never took the SATs, that's why I'm up here right now. And so I took a bunch of random questions, and they give me rooms that I'm supposed to go to. They didn't even print out class names on this sheet. And I walk in the first day of classes, and I was like, yeah, what class is this? And they're like, oh, this is English 090. I was like, there's something lower than 101? That's how I found out that class even existed. It was just for me and 3 full-grown men who don't speak English in that class. English 090 is basically Spanish 300. That is the same class. I went to my math class next, and there's this Asian dude in there. And I was like, oh my God, you gotta be the only Asian dude that I've ever seen in a community college. And then I found out he was 8 years old. It's like, this makes sense now, you know? I even took easy classes to pass. like just to get my degree. I took a class called Recent History. It's a real class. The instructor was like, all right, guys, tomorrow we're going to learn about yesterday. We watched a documentary in that class about the KKK. And in the documentary, they were interviewing the Klan. They were rallying. And they're like, why are you guys rallying today? And the guy was like, I'll tell you why we're rallying. Because this school got forced to change its mascot. It used to be a colonial rebel, and now they changed it to a black bear. Why's it gotta be a black bear? Why can't it be a white bear? I was like, this 45-year-old guy doesn't know what a polar bear is? He called it a white bear? He just knows birds by color. He's like, that's a blue bird. That red bird? Not sure. Don't know about that. He's like, what's up with this mixed donkey? It's like, that's a zebra, man. You gotta know. You gotta... learn some stuff. So I'm not good at school. I think that's why I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs at all. I know some of you are like, you kind of look like it, but I don't because I have to stay sharp, you know? But I don't understand how, like, weed's not legal. That's crazy to me because there's a trend that's going around right now where you can drink beer and throw axes at targets. How the hell is that legal? It's okay for you to get drunk and throw a weapon, but you can't just sit on your couch for 3 hours watching nature shows? Dude, yeah. That's why I like all my friends, you know? They know random animal facts. That's what they... All my friends who smoke know random animal facts. They'll be like, hey man, did you know grizzly bears eat other grizzly bears? I'm like, dude, is that true? And they're like, is what true? I'm like, all right. Maybe don't legalize it. But I went into a college that was in a sketchy downtown area, and there's this one guy, he's a homeless guy, and he was outside, and he was like he's inside somewhere. Why did I even say that? He had a lot of confidence in him this day, because he came up to me and he was like, dude, I'm really down on my luck. If you give me like a 5, 10, $50, that'd be cool. I was like, yeah, $50 would be cool. It's like, dude, if I give you $50, we're just gonna trade places. That's all that's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna give you $50, you're gonna give me that sign. And then I'm gonna be like, come on, man, help a brother out. It was a sketchy area, man. I was walking, it was in college again. I was walking downtown. It was late at night. I was by myself. And all of a sudden I heard this, And I turned around and there's this guy looking at me. And I was like, sorry, did you say something? I thought I just didn't hear him right. And he goes, if you come home with me tonight, I'll take care of you the rest of your life. I was like, huh. I am in debt, you know? But I walked away, all right? I walked away. But the reason I'm telling you guys is because that happened 12 years ago. I think about that guy. Once a month at least. Usually when I have to pay my bills, I'm like, this could have been taken care of, you know? And now when me and my wife fight, I'll bring him up. I'm like, do you know what I gave up for you, woman? I could be in a cabana right now, getting oiled up. He's my one that got away. That's, everyone has one. It's strange interactions all the time. I got a call from a number I didn't know, and I answered it because I'm lonely, right? And I was like, hello? And this woman goes, Marcus. I was like, well, my name's Mark. That's pretty close, right? I was like, this is Mark. Can I help you? And she goes, Marcus, stop playing around. I was like, ma'am, I think you have the wrong number. And she goes, Marcus, stop playing around and quit using that stupid white boy voice. I was like, I wish I could right now, but this is all I got. And she goes, this ain't Marcus? I was like, no. And she hung up the phone. Now, a couple things with that. First of all, I hope Marcus is okay. She sounded crazy. I would have given a fake number too. That's Marcus. He's laughing right now. He's like, the old switcheroo. Second thing about this is I'm not offended about what she said about my voice. I have a stupid white boy voice. I don't care about that. But I was a little offended that she thought that I sounded like a black guy doing an impression of a white guy. Like that's my voice? My voice is a stereotypical white voice everyone's doing? Like Marcus is hanging out with his friends and like, yo, Marcus, do the voice, man. And Marcus is like, all right. Do you have any kale chips? I have to live with this. I did realize something about myself, though, with all this time on our hands, is I have a man crush. And it's on a man. And it's on Jason Momoa. And whoa. Me and 3 other women in here, all right? That's good. Thing is I've watched Aquaman 8 times. It's not a good movie. But Jason Momoa, dude, slap my ass and call me a fish. That man, I swear to God, I want him to treat me like a fish. I want him to hold me up with both hands and I have his friend take a picture like he just caught me. And then he throws me back because I don't deserve him, you know? I was watching that movie by myself, no one's around. He came on the screen and just involuntarily I just go, beautiful. Just whoa. Just happened, man. Just happened. But I realized something, all right? I was at the gym and I'm staring at this dude. For way too long. And I'm like, why am I staring? This guy looks familiar. And I go, oh, dude, he kind of looks like Jason Momoa. You know, he's dark, he's jacked, he's got like long hair. And I was like, all right, well, if you like one guy, that's a man crush. If you like 2 guys that look alike, now I got a type. So I'm learning about me. Jason Momoa, he's an alpha, you know? It's hard. He likes, he's an alpha man. I feel like that's the one thing that's hard about being a dude is we get pushed on, like, you know, supposed to be an alpha male. And, you know, it's hard. Like I was in the store. They even push it in the store. Like, I was looking for body wash. And even the body wash is all, like, too manly. Way too manly. It's like stuff like mountain and forest, fog pond water, just random stuff outside. They want you to smell like you've never been inside. That's what they want you to smell like. I saw one called wood and bourbon. I don't want to smell like wood and bourbon. I don't want to be driving home tonight and the cop pulls me over. He's like, sir, have you been drinking and sanding all day? It was like their marketing team got together and they're like, hey, wood and bourbon, what would it smell like if Jesus was a stepdad? I think Jesus would make a good stepdad, by the way. He gets it. He had a stepdad, Joseph. Not as cool as his real dad. My thing is like, you know, I'm trying to figure it out. Trying to be, that's the hard part. It's like, you know, be manly, be a kind of blend. Like you got to be a blend of like certain type of things that women want. That's the hardest thing about dating. It's like I don't know what my lady wants, what she wants. You gotta be like a combination. You gotta be a little sensitive. You gotta be a little masculine. You gotta all these things. So, but some women like a certain type of guy. Do any women in here like a sensitive guy? She said that like, no, I don't date no little bitches, you know? That's fine. The reason because I'm sensitive. I'm a little sensitive, you know? Me and my wife will be watching a movie, and, you know, she'll be crying. I'll start to tear up a little bit, but I got to blame it on other stuff, you know? I'm like, man, these M&Ms are spicy, huh? Crazy. I had my middle school coach one time. He's like, why are you crying? I was like, probably because you're yelling. So some women don't like a sensitive type. Some of them like a bad boy type. Anybody in here like a bad boy type? Yeah? All right. Enjoy your conjugal visits. That's going to be fun. I will say, it does have to be a certain bad boy type. It's got to be like a dude wearing a jacket, you know, a leather jacket, riding a motorcycle, not some guy driving a moped because he's got a problem, you know? Certain type of bad boy. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be more romantic, too. What I don't understand in romantic movies, and movies in general, is how come it's romantic when a guy chases a woman, like, in the airport to prevent her from getting on the plane? Like, that's so romantic. But a guy chases a woman in the woods, and it's creepy. I mean, come on. They both want the same thing. They don't want her to get away. I don't know. One thing you got to be as a dude is you got to be a protector. I'm not that. I don't protect. I mean, I'm first on the list. I'm just, you know, it's a bad starter, you know? This is true. I was in my house, and I saw a big bumblebee outside the window, and I made sure the front door was locked. That's a true story. So I've been thinking about, like, getting a gun. Let me back up. Because my neighbor's house, his house got robbed. And I was talking to my other neighbor, and he's like, I'm not worried if someone breaks in my house. I got guns. He's like, what do you got? I was like, I got some knives. And he's like, throwing knives? I was like, no, like Cutco knives. Like they're really sharp. They cut through a shoe. I'm actually selling them. Do you have any time for... With 10 easy payments of $5.55. By the way, I don't understand why they use that as an example for Cutco knives. They cut through a shoe. Like, oh, well, I never do that. So the guy, he got pissed at me. He was like, dude, if some guy comes in your house with a gun and you got a knife, what are you gonna do? I was like, I will just be on his side now. I don't even like the stuff in my own house. She picked it out, you know? Does he need an ottoman too? I'll help him carry that to the car. So he goes, dude, no, you don't get it. It's for self-defense. He goes, come with me. I go to the range, I practice shooting. We shoot at, 5, 10, and 50 yards away. I was like, well, 50 yards really isn't self-defense anymore. 50 yards is someone else's property at that. I don't have good eyesight, but 50 yards is either, to me, a burglar or the mailman. I'm not gonna make that choice. I went over to his house. He had a silencer, too. When are you trying to defend your house, but also keep it down, you know? Did you just put the baby down and you're like, oh, come on? Dude, I'll tell you why I shouldn't have a gun, all right? Shouldn't have a gun because I'm already thinking about what that line is, you know? You know in like movies and stuff? Like it's like someone will be like, yippee-ki-yay or make my day, right before they pull the trigger. It's so cool. I'm like, dude, I gotta think of a line, you know? Like what's that line? It's because it's the last thing they hear, man. Because I'm not good at like improv, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, freeze, Buster. Sorry, can I do that again? You know, it's like, but I was thinking about it. I shouldn't have like a real gun. Like they kind of freak me out, honestly. Like I need like a gun that like shoots a net or something, or hot oil. Like I need a Home Alone gun. That's the kind of gun I need. But dude, I tell you, I've never held a gun before. I went over to my neighbor's house, and he's like, "Yeah, these are guns." I was like, "Wow, never held one before." And let me tell you something. I held a gun. Whole demeanor changed. Whole demeanor changed. Like, you know, every day I'm this. I'm just kind of white, you know. I'm saying stuff like Whole Foods. Kale chips. But dude, I picked up that gun. I felt like Denzel Washington in Training Day. I was like, felt badass. I was like, oh dude, that's a gun? That's crazy. I've never held one before. Wow. You want to go to jail? You want to go home? Okay. Whoa. Yikes. Do you have two? Can I hold two at the same time? You know, I was too amped up for it. But that's all I've been thinking about now. That's all I've been thinking about. You know? I'll just be be asleep. It'll be like my Christmas. I'll be asleep, I'll hear like glass shatter. I'll wake up from my slumber. It's on, you know, it's happening. I'll like peek out of my bedroom. I see some guy rummaging around the house and I go, oh. I peek out, he's got his back towards me, right? I sneak up behind him, 5 feet away from him. I go, psst, and he turns around and I go, no shoes in the house. Boom! Just like that. These are the suburbs. You take your shoes off. Those are the rules. I had a dog for protection. That was my main thing. I had a dog, Zeus, best dog. I took him to the dog park a couple years ago, and a human fight broke out. At the dog park. This is what happened, right? The two humans start fighting, the dogs circle around like they're betting on the fight, right? My dog gets tangled up into it, and he starts limping away. So I take him to the vet, and the doctor comes out, and he's like, I got some bad news for you. Your dog tore both of his ACLs. I know, I knew it was gonna be expensive, so I was like, okay, how much is it to repair one of them? He was like, it's $2,400. I was like, oh my God, he's totaled. Okay. He's a 2004, so. Get a new one, I guess? Relax, I fixed him. It's not like he's a cat. Come on. Crazy. That's crazy. I'll say this, though. I like all animals. Let me just back up a little bit. I like all animals, okay? Relax. Just dogs a little bit more. You can give a dog a job. You can't give a cat a job. Dogs sniff out bombs at an airport, all right? If that was a cat's job, he'd be like, I'm not on the plane. Go ahead, you know? Don't care. Seeing eye cat doesn't exist. All their owners walked into traffic, first day. I will say, like, if you do get animals, you can, take care of them, man. Get an old one, get a new one, whatever. There's actually a story. Some guy picked up a puppy off the side of the road in the Appalachian Mountains. He found a puppy on the side of the road, and he's like, I'm going to raise this puppy. And 2 months later, he found out it was a bear. Yeah, he found out because his dog got up on its back legs and started walking around like a bear. was like, well, good for that guy for realizing, because honestly, if that happened to me, I don't think I would have thought anything different, you know? I would have just like been calling my friends and be like, you guys won't believe what my dog's doing right now. I'm gonna be on the Tonight Show. And also, like, keep your like animals, like let them go indoor and outdoor. I don't like people who just have animals and leave them outdoors all the time. I don't like that, because I had some guy in my neighborhood, he had cats. And he's like, they're outdoor cats. And all he did was he put food on his porch. I was like, okay, well that's not your cat then. You're sponsoring a cat. That's all that is. I just don't like that. You're sponsoring a cat? No, because look, I come downtown, I know 2 guys by name that are homeless, and I give them change every single time. I know them by their name. But you don't see me walking around and be like, well, I have a wife, 2 kids, and 2 outdoor people. I can't wait to get back to traveling. That's my biggest thing, is I like to travel. A lot of times to kill some time on flights is I'll watch movies. That's my big thing. I was trying to watch The Hunger Games one time on the plane, and the sound wasn't working, and so it was like closed captioning. I had to read my way through a movie. And my friend picked me up, and he's like, what'd you do on the flight? I was like, oh, I saw that movie, The Hunger Games. And he's like, did you like the book or the movie better? I was like, they were the same to me. That's like people who like listen to Audible, they'll listen to a book and be like, oh, I read a book this weekend. I'm like, relax, a man read you a story. My favorite type of movies to watch are like old 80s horror movies. Those are my favorite. And by the way, don't watch a horror movie on a flight, all right? Because when you're in the movie theater, you're all watching the same thing. On a flight, you're the only one watching that movie. I'm watching a horror movie. There's a lady, 70-year-old lady doing a Sudoku puzzle next to me, and I'm just like, he's got a knife, you know? And it'll freak everybody out. Old 80s horror movies are my favorite, specifically for one guy in those movies. It's like the warning guy, right? Like he warns everybody about what the movie's gonna be about, like the tale or the myth. Like for instance, it'll be like 3 teenagers, and they're going on a trip somewhere, and they stop by like a rundown gas station, and one guy's out there by himself, and he's like, where y'all headed today? And one of the kids is like, oh, we're going to Murder Mountain. And some guy not even in the scene will just pop in and be like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. 3 boys went up there 10 years ago on this very day and never came back. I'm like, dude, I just want that guy to warn me about everyday stuff in life. You know? Like when my wife was having a baby and the doctor's like, hey, do you want to see the baby come out? And he could have popped in and been like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You ever seen an orange get pushed through a keyhole? It's kind of like that. Have a good day, and he just leaves. Just bam. We have 2 kids, and my wife. I learned something about my wife. The time that she started pushing the baby out, from the time it left her body, she didn't make a single noise. I am dealing with a serial killer. This is insane. You're not supposed to have a baby like that. The doctor, she's just like, oh, you want me to push now? Put the game on. We have 2 girls. They're beautiful. Now, I mean, at first it's a little touch and go, you know, because they've been vacuum sealed for 9 months, and they just gotta come out. You know what I mean? It's hard. But at first, I did ask my wife, "Did you cheat on me with a bulldog?" You know. The nurse was like, I mean, at first I was like, is that supposed to... Is it supposed to be so, you know? And the nurse was like, hey, do you want me to take a picture of all three of you? I was like, for what, science? Ripley's Believe It or Not? Why do you want a picture so bad? My wife was freaking out when the first one started to walk around, right? First one started to walk around. She's like, oh my God, we got to baby-proof the place. We got to baby-proof the place. I was like, relax, I'll baby-proof the place, you know? Because she tried to baby-proof something one time, and then we had a baby, so. I will say this. We had them on purpose. We had the kids on purpose. I think that's important to say because I found out my friend was an accident. Yeah, in middle school, I thought it was hilarious. I was like, Mom, Nathan's an accident. Isn't that funny? And she didn't laugh. And I'm the third kid. And I was like, Mom, am I an accident? Am I a mistake? And she said, God doesn't make mistakes. But your dad does. That's how I found out, you know? When you're a first-time parent, you gotta get all the stuff, you know? I mean, second one, you know, you just use the first stuff, you know? I mean, like, you just sit there and use all the stuff we already have. First one, you gotta get everything. So we had to go to a store and get, like, you know, a stroller and diapers and a crate and that sort of thing. And whatever's cheapest to carry them around in. It's expensive, you know? You can carry it around for, you know, in a crate for the first 3 months. No one's gonna know. She's not gonna know, you know? You can just be like, this is my emotional support baby. But anyway, the guy's giving us this tour, right? He's giving us this tour, and he's like, oh, first-time parents gotta read these books. And he points to all these books on this. And one of the books is called Baby Names, and it's for $15. I was like, first of all, you can just call that book names. No one has a different name when they're a baby. No one's ever been like, hey, I'm Steve, but my childhood friends are calling me Curtis. Like, second of all, $15 is a lot when you need all the money for the kids, you know? So I was like, we're not gonna do that. I was like, we're not gonna get that book of names. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go see a movie, and we're just gonna watch all the end credits. And we'll just pick a name out of there we like, you know? So we have a beautiful little girl. Her name is Dwayne Johnson. And she's my rock. I love her. She's the best. She's the best. That's all I've been doing, though, you know? Hanging out with the kids. The second one's starting to, like, when music will come on, she'll dance. Her shoulders, she just does this. I know. I love seeing that as a dad, because now I'm like, well, she'll never make a living dancing, so. It just warms my heart, you know? No one wants to see that. Everyone give it up for Peaches, and she comes out. You're not giving tips for that shit, that's for sure. I've been buying diapers. I bought diapers, and I had to go to the store and buy diapers in the middle of the night, right? I went in the middle of the night, I went and grabbed the smalls, I came back to the house, I opened them up, they were huge, they were enormous. I looked at the packaging and they were adult diapers. I didn't even take them back, I was like, well, she'll grow into them, right? And I took them back, and just ladies, so you guys know what's in your future, for adult women, they have diapers called lingerie diapers. And they're a regular diaper, they just have a lace design on the outside. Like, that's the problem with diapers. You have to make them sexy. It's like, dude, you don't have to make diapers sexy. No one wants to see juicy written on the back of a diaper. We gotta stop it, though. We honestly have to stop it, because then they're gonna keep pushing the envelope, right? They're like, oh, people like these lace diapers, so let's push it, you know? What about edible diapers? How about that? I know. They probably taste like shit, but it's gonna be hit shelves. Watch. You guys watch. We wanted kids very badly. And for a while, we were like, yeah, maybe we should adopt. That's a good thing to do. Because we have a couple friends who are white, and they adopted a little Guatemalan girl. And those are the rules, by the way. If you adopt, you have to adopt a different race than you. Because the best part about doing a good deed is letting everyone else know about it, you know? All I'm saying is I would want that credit too. If I adopted a white kid, I want the credit. I want people to know. I would just, go in the store and get like a Russian kid. So he's a white kid. He's got a fuzzy hat, smoking cigarettes. Saying stuff like, I'm not afraid to die. Like, whoa! That is the cutest little girl I've ever seen in my life. I'll take her. Before we had kids, I asked my wife, I was like, you know what? Why don't you tell me what you want to do? What's the one thing you want to do in life? Because we might not get that chance again, right? So she goes, okay, I want to go to Italy. And I was like, pick something else. Busch Gardens is pretty fun, you know? She's like, no, I want to go to Italy. I was like, fine, we'll do that. Maxed out the credit cards. I was like, this is your trip, you plan it. Exactly whatever you want, we're going to go do it. So that's what we did. We didn't have a lot of time. So right when we landed, we had the driver take us to go sightsee and took our bags back to our hotel. So we're at the Roman Coliseum. We're walking around. It's crowded. We're walking. We're talking. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and she's not there. And I go to call her. My phone's not in my pocket. It's in the bags. I went back to the hotel. She planned this whole trip. I don't know where I am. I don't know where we're staying, and I don't know her phone number. So after like 10 minutes of just standing there by myself, I was like, well, I guess I'll just start a new life. I'm in Italy, I guess I'll just open a Sbarro's or sell Adidas tracksuits. I've seen Sopranos, I'd get by, but... Another 20 minutes goes by, she taps me on the shoulder, she's like, oh my God, thank God I found you. I was like, look, I've already started this whole new life. You being here right now is bringing up a lot of old feelings for me. Besides, I met someone, and he said he'd take care of me for the rest of my life. So, and I'm taking it. I am glad that I am married. Can you tell? I'm glad. I don't like. I didn't like dating. Dating's a nightmare. Dating, you just. It's impossible to figure out what someone wants. I feel like you're really fake when you're dating. You're not yourself when you first start dating. Like, I picked up this girl one time, and we had to stop by the gas station, and I filled up my car. That ain't me. I'm a $5 and a prayer type of guy. That's me. Also, like, I'm glad I met her when I did, because once you start getting older, your standards start lowering. My wife was like, I'm glad I found you. I was like, me too, because we got a couple friends, in their 20s. They were like, hey, I want a guy who loves his mom. He's making $100K a year, plays an instrument. I was talking to one of my friends. She's in her early 40s, and I was like, oh, how's the guy you're seeing? What's he like? And she's like, he can read. He's got his own Keurig coffee maker, so he's doing all right. My main hang up, honestly, is divorce. That's big. A lot of people are divorced. It's going around. I have an uncle that's getting married for the 5th time.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That's his ex-wife, and he's getting married for the 5th time. He doesn't even say the one anymore. He just says, I found one. I just feel like, I mean, it's hard because, dude, all this guy has, he's been divorced 4 times. Do the math. He owns only 16% of the original stuff he started life with. All he has is like a pillow, a baseball bat, and a fork. That's all he owns. I feel like, relationships are just like that game Jenga, You know the game with the blocks that you remove something and see if it's still standing? That's what it is, You're testing stuff out, make sure that thing doesn't fall. You're like, hey, you want to meet my parents? Okay, all right. How about we get married? Let's do that. Okay, all right. Let's have a kid. Let's do that. Let's have a kid. Push that one in. Push that one back in. Push it in. But you can't push that in because that's not how kids work. You gotta pull that one out. One guy likes it. I think the main thing is like, you gotta try stuff, You gotta try stuff in the bedroom. Like my wife, she's read 6 books in 4 weeks, so that's how my sex life is going, and it's great. Honestly, what I did was I Googled a bunch of stuff, right? Don't worry, I used Incognito mode. We good, baby. So I Googled a bunch of stuff. Some stuff came back, some stuff I heard of, some stuff I hadn't heard of. One of the things that came back was like add food in the bedroom. Everyone knows that. That's a common thing, and I get that, It's got to be like chocolate and strawberries, not like mustard and bologna, right? You gotta treat her like a lady, not like a picnic, you know what I'm saying? Second thing is role play. That's a big one. It's a very popular one. And I get that too. If you've been with someone for a long time, you're like, hey, you want to role play tonight? She'll be like, ooh, what do you want me to be? And you're like, anyone but you. Try Jason Momoa. How about you be him? Last one I had never heard of before, all right? It suggested that you sit across from your partner in the bedroom, you both sit on the bed, you're both naked, and you both just watch each other masturbate. Clearly that tip had to be given by a woman, right? She's like, look, you go over there. And you watch me. Basically, it's like you're cleaning the dishes, First you want to get the surface area, and then you just want to focus on that one spot. You just can't scrub off the plate. It's food you can't scrub off the plate. You gotta scrub off the plate. Look, however you do your dishes, guys, that's all I'm saying, all right? That's my name in the bedroom now. I'm the dishwasher. I come in there, I'm like, hey, does someone need some dishes done? She's in there reading a book. She's like, no, I already did them. Thanks, though. Guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much.